Hey guys, this is Tom. It is Sunday morning, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, and we are here within the SOMSFA semifinal between Kurt Retzlaff's Denver Broncos, who were 10-6 in the regular season, go to sleep, and won their opening round playoff game over Pittsburgh, 22-16. And they're taking on the undefeated Seattle Seahawks. It was 16-0 and won their previous playoff game 31-16 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. As I try to get my act together here. And here's the opening kickoff. It's kicked down to the 4-yard line. Seattle receiving the kick. I'm going to guess that Denver won the toss because Dennis likes to kick off. And this is to make the Super Bowl. Dennis has made the Super Bowl 3 straight years. He's won 2 of those 3. Lost a close one last year to me. He was 16-0 last year. He's 16-0 this year. So a tremendous run. Unprecedented in any events leagues. Certainly. Short pass to Benjamin Watson. 2 blitzes on. Dennis in the 2 tight end set. Must run for Russell Wilson is a 4-yard gain. Dennis received the kick. It was returned 28 yards out to his own 32. He likes to run the 2 tight end, 2 wide, 1 running back formation. Chris Ivory's had an excellent year for him. Dennis's point differential was ludicrous in this league. Nearly 20 points a game point differential. Short pass to Brandon Marshall. Single coverage against a 5. 10 is complete for 14 yards on Russell Wilson's card. And just like that, as soon as we can catch up, Dennis is at midfield. On defense, Kurt, who's had a very good year, did a good job with this team. To get to 10-6, to get to the semifinal is an accomplishment in itself. Calls run, play action to Brandon Marshall. Receiver gets wrong, plus 15. First down for Seattle at the Denver 35. Kurt plays a 3-4, and then you see the play calling is fast and furious. It's 4-5-5 in the DL for Kurt. 5-4-0-5 at linebacker. Corners 45, safeties 55. Flat pass left to Darren Fells. 1 linebacker there. Receiver gets right. Plus 7 down to the Denver 28. Really, that'll hold Denver's secondary as 5s with the exception of left corner 4, who covers Montavis Bryant. Here, Denver shows blitz. Dennis has, I believe, 3 7s on the offensive line because I have played against this team, I believe. Linebacker Chris Ivory gets right. Offensive right guard plus 7 or plus 2 is a 7-yard gain. Behind the right guard 5. I think Dennis has got a weak center and left guard for run blocking as 4s. And the tight ends aren't very good, but the tackles are both 6s. And the right guard's a 5. First and 10 for Seattle at the Denver 21. Early first quarter, Dennis having no problems so far on this opening drive. Just zip, zip, zip. Off tackle right to Chris Ivory. 2 linebackers in zone. Offensive onside guard 3 or 0. That's Jeff Schwartz, the veteran 5. Now retired in the NFL, who makes the block, creating 2nd down and 7. And our broadcast seems to be going well. The game's going very quickly. Hopefully my Strat forum post also went well. Sunday morning, a lot of guys. Short pass to Brandon Marshall, 4 minutes in the zone. Picked off 2 to 6 and 12, and it's picked off down to the 3-yard line by Denver. This is a huge turn. And picked off by Devon House, the former and now once again Green Bay Packer, returning at 12 yards. You get inside the 20 and throw those short passes. A lot of times you're throwing into 4 men, and that 9 pickoff is there. That's a bad omen for Dennis as he tries to make his 4th straight Super Bowl. But we'll see. He's had a little bad luck in the first game, and he weathered it. And that's what you got to do a lot sometimes if you want to be a champion. You can't just sit there and kick the dirt and say, oh, man, I had a bad break. And my right to Lamar Miller. Linebacker in zone -3 or +2. It's a 3-yard loss as Dennis was blitzing Tamba Hali, who is a 6 against the run. Not next year, but this year. Dennis' defense 3-4 goes 4-4-5. Normally that left end is better than that. Maybe even the nose tackle. Dennis actually likes to get some pass rushing substitutes on defense. I still have to check that next time he has the ball. Looking past to Allen Hurns. Defense run keying. Guess wrong now. And Eddie Dalton's card is a 10-yard gain. Dalton's got a pretty nice card. Excellent flat pass guard, as you see. Pretty decent short and long. You can certainly threaten and do well with that card. 3rd down and 3 for the Broncos at their own 22. This would be a big pickup. Dennis is 3-4. It is a 4-4-5, even on the running downs here. Flat pass right to Rhett Ellison. Defense gets his pass. Gets right on Dalton's card. It's a 6-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Broncos up at their own 28. Trying to make the Super Bowl. Dennis's secondary has got a safety 4, but the rest of it is good. Left corner 5, strong safety 5, right corner 6, covering Sammy Watkins. Flat pass left to Lamar Miller. Right outside linebacker's only a 4. Linebacker zone +1 and +5. It's only a 1-yard gain as the veteran DeMarcus Ware, 4 and a 4, makes the play. Fine. So you see here, Denver's got some matchups. They're working largely in the front 7 here. Some running and flat passing so far. Everyone knows Dennis likes to blitz. Short pass Sammy Watkins. Defense double teaming. Receiver gets right is incomplete. That would have been +17 without the double team. Guys don't always double team those 6s, but we know Watkins is a very dangerous card. But Alan Hearns does on the other side as well. So Dennis is going to be careful there. 3 wide, 1 halfback. Tim Hightower, who we just saw in the SSFA playoffs for NFL Ed, checks the game. Long pass Marcus Wheaton. Coming by a 4. Defensive back in zone, only a 4. X to +29. He makes the play. Kenny Vaccaro could not make the play. The free safety 4. White die 6. Dennis chose not to double team the 4. Despite having good secondary guys elsewhere, and he paid the price there, relying on his good pass defense. Didn't want to give him long gains or extra receiver readings with no men. And sometimes there's the obvious play if the guy's not going to throw it to the 4. Off tackle draw for Lamar Miller. Blocking back +7 or +5. Ellison could not make the block on the white die 6. Ellison had a tough game with the blocking in Denver's opening round victory as well. 5-yard gain for Miller makes it 2nd down and 5. I think that's only the 2nd carry for the Broncos offense. It's been through the air in this drive. Off tackle left to Lamar Miller, gets wrong, gains 5 yards in a 1st down. Denver's now at the Seattle 32. Broncos had an interception in the red zone on defense, an interception of Russell Wilson as Dennis was driving seemingly effortlessly. And now the Broncos are driving themselves. 1st and 10 at the 32. Dennis does have the good pass defense cards. Everything else is average for both teams, the run defenses and the Denver pass defense. Blocking back 1 halfback for the Broncos, which is what we've seen. Off tackle left, Lamar Miller behind the 5s. Guess wrong, it's a 3-yard gain. So this Bronco offensive line is 5s everywhere with the run for the run blocking, except for a center 4. You also have the blocking back 5. So this left side becomes 5-5-5. And then the right side, you're running at 4s, and the nose tackle's a 4. So there are running opportunities there. And the Lamar Miller has to be defended against. Pretty decent flat pass receiver, so maybe hard for Dennis to bring too many guys up here on a regular basis. Well, he's always going to bring guys up. It's a matter of how much and when and from where. 2nd and 7 for Denver at the Seattle 29. 5:42 to go in the opening quarter. Broncos get touched and he'll be huge. Looking past to Rhett Ellison. Receiver gets right, incomplete. Ellison has a pretty terrible receiving card. Guessed right. 12 is +41, but good luck getting that. But it's a pretty terrible receiving card, guess right. But sometimes you're going to throw it to the guy. You think maybe the defense is going to blitz. They might double team elsewhere. So it's a safer play sometimes to throw to a guy who's not a particularly good receiver. But this is the problem sometimes when you go blocking back. A lot of these blocking backs can't do anything except block. 3rd and 7 for Denver. So you limit yourself to 4 receiving options. Denver's got 3rd and 7 now from the Seattle 29. They stay blocking back. I guess they don't want to get sacked. They want to maybe keep the idea of the run open. Now, Will Compton, the middle linebacker here, is only a 44. And DeMarcus Ware's a 44. Off tackle left, Lamar Miller gains 5. Down to the 24. Sets up a 4th and 2 for Denver with Dan Carpenter, who I believe is about 2-9. Or 2-9-12 from out here. I'm not certain. We'll see that momentarily. He's going to try a 41-yard field goal. And it is up and good, 2-9-12. So hits the uprights, 3-0. Dennis will take that, considering the way that everything unfolded there. I mean, the 3-0, all right, fine, you score, but, you know, preventing the touchdown is huge there. This kick goes 9 yards deep into the end zone, and it is downed by Seattle. And Dennis comes out for 1st and 10 at his own 20. No one watching the game today. It is Sunday morning, church time for people, family time for people. Off tackle right for Chris Ivory. He gains 2 yards to make it 2nd down and 8. It's the odd early morning time. So Kurt's in the Central Time Zone, Dennis out west, so Dennis having a cup of coffee. Certainly, and they both could be, but Dennis particularly early morning action for the Seahawks out in sunny California. Look at best, Benjamin Watson, full house blitz on for the Cardinals. It's a short gain on the defense on a 17-yard pickup. Creates a 1st and 10 for Dennis up at his own 39. Dennis good at picking up tendencies from his opponent. I'm sure he studied that Denver earlier playoff game, or at least watched it. Off tackle left to Chris Ivory. No linebackers there. Ivory gains 3. He's got 4 carries, 15 yards. Had a tremendous season for Dennis. Mostly on the strength of this off tackle. You see the short gains, and he hits the 58-yarders and the 24s and the 31s. And Russell Wilson is certainly a legitimate passing threat. But Dennis overachieved with this team. Off tackle left, Chris Ivory. 1 linebacker there. Offensive end, 5-0. No gain. Darren Fell's only a 4. We mentioned that exterior blocking. That blocking on the edges for Dennis, not strong with the tight ends. It's a 0 on the right side, a 4 on the left. 3rd and 7 for Seattle at their own 42. 2:06 to go in the first quarter. This is a big play. I mean, you're trying to beat an undefeated team. Every little thing is big. When trying to win, it's like, all right, let me just get my regular routine going, get my rhythm going. Let's not do anything crazy, blah, blah, blah. 3 wide, nickel 3-3-5. Short pass, Brandon Marshall. Receiver gets right, incomplete. Dennis is going to have to punt. He doesn't like to punt. 4th and 7 he'll punt, that's for sure. No one likes to punt, but Dennis perhaps just standing it even more than most. There's a 50-yard kick inside the 10 to Marcus Murphy, who does have a touchdown in 2. And he hits it. 2. Snake Eyes, 92-yard return. Marcus Murphy all the way to the house. It's 9-0 Broncos. Oh, my stars and garters. Dennis is going to be... He's going to have to really grind this one out. 16-0, trying to make the Super Bowl. Dennis overachieved with this team. This is not a dominant personnel team. And this might have been like a 12-4 type of team. He went 16-0 for the second straight year. So, but still, kick goes 8 yards deep into the end zone for Amir Abdullah. Dennis takes the knee. He's not going to panic yet, but he's down 10-0. He threw an interception against 4 men down around the goal line. He threw the pass from like the 17. He got picked off down on the 3. They just had a punt returned against him, 92 yards for a touchdown. He's down 10-0. Flat pass right to Chris Ivory. White dice 6 is a short gain, 17 yards up to the 37. Seattle moved the ball effortlessly the first possession. Last time they got a couple of first downs and had to punt. Dennis, he knows it's a long game. He's overcome adversity before, but this is a startling beginning to the game for anyone who might be watching, listening, or whatever. Looking past Darren Fells, gets right, incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Potential sack chance there was actually 0. And it looks like my live link is working. And Dennis 2 is in the pistol formation. He likes to use that. Long pass by Tavis Bryant, be double teamed, but a dump off underneath of Brandon Marshall goes for 20 yards. So Kurt had the right play call, but not a lot of pass rush coming with it on the double team. And Wilson checked off underneath for a big first down into Denver territory as we start the second quarter. Chris Ivy takes the carry for 5 yards. He has a lot of carries. 18 remaining. Off tackle Jordan Ivory. Defensive calls run. And it's only a 1-yard gain on Ivory's card, who has some positive yardage on the run key. I didn't know that. I mean, a couple of +1s, which is, more than most guys are going to give you. And that was a big +1 because it creates 3rd and 4. No containment. Seattle at the Denver 37. If Dennis doesn't make it here, he's going to go for it, barring a sack. Short pass, Darren Fells. Defense guesses wrong with 3 men there. There's a 10-0 Russell, 14 yards, first down Seattle. At the Denver 23, we've seen this before. The 10 +14 we saw on Dennis's first possession. That was guessed right. Dennis just calling the plays. Knows what he wants to do. Off tackle right to Chris Ivory's a 5-yard gain. Ivory plugging along here in the second quarter as someone joined us. 2nd down and 5 for the Seahawks. At the Denver 18, Seattle trails 10-0. 16-0. Flat pass left to Darren Fells. Defense guesses pass. Linebacker 5 there. 2 blitzes on. And Russell hits his own card on the flat pass right for a first down. Russell hasn't always done that. We have Mike Nemo watching us. Welcome, Mike. First and 10 for Dennis at the Denver 13. Dennis threw an interception in the red zone on his first possession. Short pass, Benjamin Watson. Defense gets his run. Foreman there. Guess wrong. Incomplete on Russell's card. Russell has a very fine short pass guard. I think it looks like it. 1, 3, 7, 12, 19 units. Not bad. And then Dennis had to punt on a second possession, and Denver returned the punt 92 yards for a touchdown on a snake eyes on Marcus Murphy. And that's why the Broncos lead 10-0 here early in the second quarter. Second down and 10 for Seattle at the Denver 13. Short pass, Brandon Marshall. Defense gets his pass, double teaming elsewhere. Dump off receivers, an 8-yard gain to Martavis Bryant, creating a third down and 2. There was a 7-on-6 pass rushing situation. Dennis has Tyron Smith. I didn't know that. It's a third down and 2. That wants this touchdown. Big play here. I think he might throw it, even though he got picked off last time. Short pass, Brandon Marshall, Foreman in zone. Defense guesses wrong. Receiver, touchdown, Marshall. So Dennis comes down the field, 80 yards, I believe. Converted a couple of third and short situations. And Russell Wilson connects with Brandon Marshall for a big touchdown to make it to get Seattle on the board for the first time. And they trail 10-7 as they kick off with about 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. This one goes 8 yards deep into the end zone and is taken for a touchback by the Bronco returner, Marcus Murphy, it looked like. Well, he might have been the anonymous two-back. Well, he's not anonymous, but you know what I mean. Rashad Ross, the other returner. Denver's going to get the ball to start the third quarter, but they can't get the ball game get away from them here. Aaron left to Lamar Miller, defensive end -2 or +3. Jarrell Casey. Dennis has some good names on this team. You should if you go 16-0. And it's a 2-yard loss, 5-on-5. Lamar Miller, 6 carries, 13 yards. But Kurt's running a little bit. I mean, Kurt's offense has not done a lot. He did have a good drive. I mean, they set up for the field goal. Long pass, Julian Thomas. Defense against us wrong with no man receiver, +25. Thomas only has 6 units of completion, and he's covered by a 5. So Dennis can't like that receiver reading, resulting in a 25-yard gain. He's also probably upset at himself for guessing run on 2nd and 12. Should best Marcus Wheaton be double teamed from the 3 wide, 2 running backs, which is an underutilized formation at times, and it's incomplete. Plus, you have to have a good third receiver and a lousy tight end to bother. But I don't think Julius Thomas' card is that great this year. 2nd and 10 for the Broncos at their own 43 still, so they're still on their own end. Well, tackle Jordan Lamar Miller. Defense gets his pass. Box guards is +2. 11 would have been a 22-yard gain. And run is where Miller is strongest, but you can't do that nonstop. And then you have the 5 blockings over there. 5-5-5 running against a nose tackle 4. So that's not a bad play to try to get some positive yardage out of. 8:42 to go in the first half. Denver leads Seattle 10-7. Third game for the Broncos at their own 45. Then it shows blitz. Flat pass left Allen Hurns against the 4. Linebacker is incomplete Dalton's card, and the Broncos left to punt it. Dennis likes that. Trying to establish some game normalcy if you are the superior team. 4th and 8, 47-yard punt with out of bounds. Goes out at the 16, it looks like. And Dennis will take over. 1st and 10 from his own 16. 8:06 to go in the first half. This game's going to be done by 12 noon Eastern. It's 11:22 right now. They started a couple minutes early. We just started 11:02 because I wasn't ready. But off tackle draw to Chris Ivory. No linebackers there. 9 in the defense. 9 in Ivory's card is a 5-yard gain. And that's what we've seen from Ivory so far today. 5-yard gains. A 2 or 3 here. Hasn't really hit anything significant yet in terms of a short gain, but he's chugging along. Off tackle left to Ivory again. Blocking back +7 or +5 is another 5-yard gain. Almost on cue. But it's working fine for Dennis. He's had 2 very good drives. Had to punt one other time. Off tackle right to Ivory. 1 linebacker there. Ivory gains 2 yards. I mean, now Ivory's already carried the ball 11 times. He's got 24 on 15 for the game. I don't think Dennis's backup is that great, but I think it's someone not too bad. He might have Amir Abdullah. He might have someone else as well. Long pass to Martavis Bryant, be double teamed. Receiver dump off incomplete. So a couple of accurate double teams from Kurt of Martavis Bryant, who's covered by a 4. And now you have 3rd and 8 for the Seahawks at their own 28. 6 minutes to go. Another big third down conversion. Dennis does not want to punt it here. Give Denver a chance to add some points to get the ball back to start the third quarter. Defense goes dime 3-2-6. Dennis 3 wide, 1 fullback. So you're not going to see a run here, I don't believe. He did flat pass right to Darren Fells. Linebackers all +1 or +6. Only a 1-yard gain. Many lost in the 5. Makes the play. 5 and a 5. Dennis has to punt it. 5:24 before the first half. Already trailing 10-7. 50-yard punt down inside down near the 20 for Marcus Fairview. Already has a touchdown this game. This time calls a fair catch. The touchdown's only on 2. There is a long gain on 12 and a couple of decent returns. +12 on a 3, +9 on a 9. And Dennis's coverage yields 7 yards on a 7. Dennis hoping for a fumble to offset the touchdown. 10-7 Broncos, 5:06 to go. Now the Broncos could just get a good drive going here, take some time off the clock. Flat pass right, Lamar Miller be double teamed. Incomplete. Nice double team by Dennis. Not a very typical guy to double team in that situation. But he knows Kurt likes to throw the flats to him. And Kurt's already beat Dennis with a couple of bombs, so that was really an aggressive double team by Dennis. 3 wide, 2 running backs. Julius Thomas in the fullback position, covered by a 5. This formation doesn't look like it does a lot to me for the Broncos. I think I'd stay the blocking back. Aaron right, Lamar Miller, offensive onside tackle, +2 or -2, loses 2 yards. Bobby Massey, the 4, because he was nerfed down from a 5 because of the formation. But it was a white die 6 anyway. Creates a 3rd and 12. So, boy, Kurt would love to get this one. This is a huge play here. Again, if Kurt can somehow convert this first down, 3rd and long, 3rd and 12, this would have been an opportunity to get a good drive going, take time off the clock, maybe kick a field goal, get the ball back for the third quarter. If not, if he doesn't convert this and he's got a punt, Dennis is a good chance to score. There's a draw play up the middle. Goes for 5 yards. Goes for 7 yards, rather. Adds to the punt somewhat. A little conservative of a play call there. And 4th and 5, 3:36 to go. He's going to punt it to Dennis. It's a 44-yard kick, another out-of-bounds punt. Only a 31-yarder. I know Frankie Hammond was back there as a decent card. Does Denver have awful opponent punt returns? Maybe we'll get a chance to see. But Dennis says, I'll take a 31-yard net. He's got great field position now at his own 43, 3:18 to go. He trails 10-7. He got a chance to take the lead here. Short pass to Brandon Marshall being double teamed with a linebacker. 1 blitz on. Defender extra short gain is incomplete. It was a white tie 5. I think he's being covered by a 5 anyway. Yes, Devon House, who has an interception. But Kurt's done some good double teaming. So that's been running the ball a lot with Ivy, but didn't want to be too obvious there. May need to work a few more flat passes in. Short pass to Brandon Marshall again, this time not double teamed. And it's guessed right on Russell's card for 12 yards and a first down. The old go straight back to the guy you just double teamed routine. You just double teamed successfully, I might add. So Seattle crosses midfield. They're at the Denver 45. 2:24 to go in the first half. The Seahawks trail 10-7. Russell 12 of 18, 135 and a touchdown. Emerald left, Russell Wilson. Defense guesses right. 7 is -2. Dennis runs those end runs more than most guys will with a running quarterback. And part of that is that the quarterback right cards aren't as awful as they once were, which is good because guys like Russell do run the ball in the NFL when he's healthy. This past year, he's hindered by an injured knee or ankle, something like that. 2nd and 12, 2 and a warning. Seattle to Denver 47. Winner of this game makes the Super Bowl, folks. The SOMSFA Super Bowl. They will play the winner of the San Francisco-New York Giants game between Ed Burrow, the commissioner, and Joe Golden. Short pass Martavis Bryant. Defense double teaming elsewhere. 2 blitzes on. Defender X +2 or +8 on a dump off. There's an 8-yard gain as Chris Ivory bled out into the flat. That's not the word. Is it the word I'm looking for? Anyway. And the linebacker normally covering him was blitzing. There was a 6 on the pass rush situation. but no asterisk in play for the Broncos. 3rd and 4 for Seattle, the Denver 39. Denver's let the clock run down to 1:30. A lot of like to hurry up there. You know he's going to go for it anyway. Flat pass left, Chris Ivory. Defense goes to the pass. Got a 5 there. Receiver gets right, incomplete. Now this is interesting. Well, Dennis punted here out of bounds because the first half's gone against him. But the defense is doing a nice job against Denver. Will he go for it? He's going to go for it. Crowley style. Go big or go home. 4th and 4, the Denver 39. 1:22 to go. Big play here. If Dennis gets this, he's probably going to get some points and either tie or take the lead. If he doesn't, Denver has a chance to add to their lead before the half, and they get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. So this is a huge play right here. Short pass for Brandon Marshall. Defense double teaming elsewhere. 3 men there. Receiver on the dump off gets right. He's only 3 yards. Chris Ivory brought down just shy of the first down marker, and the Broncos will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 36. 1:15 to go. Barring a turnover or something crazy, Denver will have the lead going into the second half with the ball, and right now they could add to it. They need to get something going, get about 25 yards or so, or 30 yards. 14, about 35 yards. And they can do it off tackle. Jordan Lamar Miller, good play. Hits the box on an 8-11, and the box is a 21-yard gain with the 10-yard addition of the box. And just like that, Denver across midfield to the Seattle 43. I told you I liked that off tackle for him as a decent play. Not all the time, not a bread and butter, but a pretty consistent part of the offense in this matchup. And he have a flat pass left to Julius Thomas that goes for 2 yards. 2nd and 8, only a minute to go before the half. Denver needs to get into field goal range to try a field goal. Carpenter has got a strong leg. I think he might be only 2-6 or 2-6, 11 and 12 from deep, but 2-9 and 12 from the 32 and in. So Denver needs one more first down to try to have a good chance of making it 13-7 and get the ball back. Everett left, Lamar Miller guessed correctly. Offensive onside, +9/+4. Brett Ellison keeps missing the block. He is a 5. And in the first playoff game, and now in this one, he continually misses the block. That was huge. That was only a 4-yard gain instead of a 9-yard gain. That would have been a first down in field goal range instead of a 3rd and 4, 52 seconds left. 2 timeouts for the Broncos at the Seattle 37. Tim Hightower checks in. NFL Ed was running a lot in his playoff game with the SSFA. And short pass to Allen Hurns. Defense guesses wrong. Receiver gets wrong. Incomplete. Dennis is lucky in that one. Now, is Denver going to punt it? Oh, Kurt, you got to go for it here. 4th and 4, the 37, 45 seconds left. It would be a conservative play, and he's going to go for it. I like to see Lamar Miller in there, but blocking back one halfback, Tim Hightower. How about a linebacker Hightower, an off-tackle Hightower behind those 5s? But he's been running a lot. Is that what Dennis will look for? A lot of options here. For Kurt, that's what you want on offense. A lot of options. The defense can't shut anything down. There's only 1-6. Linebacker Tim Hightower gets wrong. Dreaded 5, no gain, and Kurt turns it back over and downs to Seattle. So that blocking back situation. +9 and +4. The 5 missed the block, killed that drive for Denver. And now Dennis, who's aggressive and great in these situations, has a chance to tie, take the lead, what have you. Barring a turnover. Dennis will sprinkle in bombs here at times. Denver and Russell Wilson. He knows a field goal would be great for him here after the way things unfolded the last couple of minutes. Off tackle draw to Chris Ivory. Nose tackle 0 +3, but Linval Joseph makes the play. White die 5 overriding. Sorry, he's a 5 against the white die 4. And Dennis calls timeout. 30 seconds left. He's at his own 37. I don't know how good his kicker is, but at this point, you would try a long field goal, certainly. So Dennis needs 27 yards to get to about the 36, let's say. Off tackle, draw to Ivory again. One linebacker behind. Defensive end +2 or +9. Only a 2-yard gain. Rob Ninkovich, 5 out of 5. 13 carries, 40 yards. So Chris Ivory not showing the magic that he's shown all season for the Seahawks. He really didn't do that well, I don't think, in the first playoff game. Maybe I'm wrong about that. He might have got 100 yards, but maybe a lot of late running with the lead, but not stuff to help Dennis build the lead. And Dennis lets the clock run down this time. He's annoyed. 3rd and 8, of course. It's a good time to let the clock run down. And the defense going just straight up, not going nickel or anything. I don't like this call. With 8 seconds to go in the half, this could burn you. Can Darren Fells go deep? Something crazy like that? Now the defense called the timeout. That's more like it. And we have Dan here also. Dan Warren. Hello, Dan. Third down and 8 for the Seahawks. 8 seconds to go before the half. Dennis trails 10-7. The undefeated SOMSFA Seahawks going for the 4th straight Super Bowl appearance. And right now they're trailing. And Denver gets the ball to start the third quarter. I'll give you a quick game recap at halftime. If it's allowed, these guys are playing pretty quickly. Am I right, Russell Wilson, the offensive end, -2 +3, games 3. Bit of a waste of an end run from Russell, in my opinion. Dennis will go for it here, the last play of the half. Maybe look for like a looking pass to someone with a dot, maybe. Get some kind of white dot long gain, or maybe throw the bomb, see what happens. Who can go deep? He's pistols. You might see a run for Ivory. 58 yards would exactly be a touchdown. That's Ivory's reading on a 2. Dennis is the king of beating containment. Well, he also runs the ball a lot in those situations, is part of why that happens. Short pass, Montavis Bryant being double teamed. Receiver incomplete. True double team. And we go to the half, and it is 10-7 Broncos. The 10-6 Broncos leading the 16-0 Seahawks. For a quick recap, Denver, I think, won the toss but deferred. I don't know. Whatever. Seattle got the ball to start. A lot of deferring going around nowadays. Usually a good move. Dennis drove down the field with no problem. But Russell Wilson was intercepted down near the goal line on a short pass from about the 17-yard line. They're locked, so we're going to exit and relaunch. But Dennis had the ball inside the 20 and threw a short pass, guessed wrong, I believe it was, against 4 men. And he got the 9 on the defense's card, which was the interception 2-6 plus, and was picked off down near the goal line. Kurt then had a nice drive to go the length of the field and had to settle for a field goal. Took a 3-0 lead. And after the kickoff, he stopped Dennis. Dennis had to punt it. And on the punt, Marcus Murphy rolled snake eyes, touchdown, 82 yards to give Denver a 10-0 lead. But Dennis came back with a much-needed touchdown to cut it to 10-7. There was some back and forth in the final few minutes. I might have clicked the wrong thing here, as I tend to do occasionally. Well, looks like we're okay. And there's a kickoff 9 yards deep into the end zone for Marcus Murphy. He'll down it. And that's where we are. I hope I made that clear. I was trying to make sure to connect at the same time. But that's how we are at a 10-7 situation with a half of football to go for one team to make the SOMSFA Super Bowl. Will it be Kurt Retzlaff's 10-6 Broncos here, or the 16-0 Seattle Seahawks? Or if I can right, Lamar Miller, 3 yards with the linebacker in zone. Guessed wrong. Seattle with Dennis trying to make their 4th straight SOMSFA Super Bowl. He won 2 of them. He lost last year's in a close game with some bad luck. 2nd and 7 for Denver. Emmer left. Lamar Miller gets 4 yards with a fumble, but Denver recovers their own fumble. It'll be 3rd and 3 if they fall on. You can lose yardage here if you try to advance. He does try to advance and gains 1, so 3rd down and 2. Lamar Miller's fumble number is only is the minimum. That was a 6 in 1,000 chance at a fumble, and he rolled a 3. But he recovered it, so no harm, no foul, and if anything, he gained a yard out of it. So Lamar does not have a very good Emmer and right card. It's a solid Emmer and wrong card. And he hit one of the only things that's a positive gain. So 3rd and 2 for Denver. Big 3rd down here to start the second half from his own 28. Blocking back one halfback. Now, in these situations, we have not seen much out of Kurt down the field. Off tackle left, Lamar Miller. Defense gets the pass. 11 yards with the box. Box not in play. He's hit that 8 twice, famously for the 21-yard run about 4 minutes before the half that I thought was going to result in a Denver score, but he ended up getting stopped on 4th and short in no man's land Lamar Mills got 15 carries, 63 yards. No gain on that one. Julius Thomas could make the block. Second down and 10 for the Broncos at their own 39. Denver's hit a couple of bombs. They haven't tried that many. They hit both of them. We've hardly seen any short passing. It's mostly been running and some flat passing. Seattle offense probably has a significant yardage advantage. They've moved down the field about 3 times. Denver's only really had one scoring drive. One drive worthy of scoring. Second down and 10. The Broncos at their own 39. Looking past to Tim Hightower. Nobody there. It's going to be guessed wrong. It's a short gain in Dalton's call for 18 yards and a first down across midfield. That would have been right and wrong anyway. Dennis can console himself with that knowledge. But there's no consolation with the field position here as Denver is at the Seattle 43. Early in the third quarter, they lead 10-7. Hightower has been in the game more often in the late first half and here in the third quarter than he had been previously. Looking past Sammy Watkins. Defense gets his run again, this time with vacating the zone. White die 6 would have been good unless Dennis left both guys there anyway. So more consolation for Dennis, but more real estate for Denver. They're at the Seattle 13. You don't want consolation. You want stops. First and 10 for Denver at the Seattle 13. 11:24 to go in the third quarter. They lead 10-7. Now, they're still a ways from the end zone. And they have some big play receivers here, but Dennis has double-teamed them enough to give Kurt some reticence about throwing there. Flat pass right to Tim Hightower. Short gain, so it's flat, flat, flat. Whack, whack, whack. 15 yards on the flat pass right. And Denver's at the Seattle 15. The Broncos have a chance to take a 17-7 lead on a 16-0 club in the third quarter to make the Super Bowl. Short pass, Allen Hurns. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Dump off for Dalton is incomplete to Rhett Ellison. There was no second high linebacker blitzing. So no chance of a sack there for Dennis. Walking back one halfback for Hightower. Kurtz like to run it here in these 2nd and 10 situations. Guys get a little scared. Linebacker draw to Hightower. Defense calls run, but nose tackle +1 or +12 is a 12-yard gain because I think Dennis blitzed his linebacker on the outside. You're going to keep your linebackers home if you suspect a draw. But I think Dennis put his linebacker in the wrong spot there. Should have been one man if he put him up on the line of scrimmage. Looks like someone joined us. We got a first and goal for the Denver at the Seattle 3-yard line. Denver leading 10-7 in the third quarter against the undefeated 16-0 club that's made 3 straight Super Bowls and won 2. Denver trying to punch it in. First and goal from the 3. Full house formation. Hightower, Alfred Morris, and Dalton, your running options. Off tackle right to Hightower on the left. 12 is a +9 and a touchdown for the veteran Hightower. The Broncos take a 16-7 lead over the 3-time Super Bowl representative Seahawks here in the third quarter of the semifinal. Seattle trying to make their 4th straight Super Bowl, trying to win their 3rd in 4 years. Here's the kick. Goes 3 yards deep into the end zone. Amir Abdullah may take this one down. He's got a decent return card. Takes it out, gets 7 on Carpenter's card, which is +10. Dennis will start with the ball at his own 7. Now you know why Dennis has been downing it, but took a chance here at the +99 and did not work out as he starts his possession at his own 7. What a weapon that is. +10, 11, 12. For Carpenter in the kickoff. He was my kicker in SOMSFA. Off tackle draw to Chris Ivory. Has not done on much yet. Offensive onside guard +7 and +2. He gets 7 yards. Jeff Schwartz has done a good job today. 2nd and 3. Ivory 14 carries, 47 yards. And there has not been a lot of guess right calls. He's getting +5s, +2s. Didn't get anything right before the half on some wrong calls with Ivory. We're midway through the third quarter. They're down 10, Seattle is. Off tackle left to Ivory. Offensive onside end, 5-0. He gains 5 yards on a guess wrong call again. Dennis wants a little more than that. There's nothing wrong with it normally, but at this stage in the game, 15 for 52 and Ivory largely gets wrong. How about a short gain? Looking past Darren Fells, defense guesses right. 5 yards on Wilson's card. 2nd down to 5. Russell 15 of 23, having a pretty decent game. Through the one big pick down inside the red zone on Seattle's opening possession. Short pass right to Darren Fells. Interception split, incomplete on Wilson's card. Snake eyes only. 3rd and 5 for Dennis. Boy, Dennis needs this first down in the worst way. Just mentally and morally, you feel like you're going to keep fighting, but it's hard when you feel like things are going against you. and you're about to give the guy the ball back, and you're down by 10. Long pass, Martavis Bryant double-teamed, and it's picked off across midfield on the successful double team. The Broncos have double-teamed Bryant successfully 3 times this game, and they were rewarded here with an interception at their own 45. Russell's second of the game. Brandon Flowers runs it back 13 yards. The Broncos are at the Seattle 42-yard line, already leading 17-7 in the third, more than midway through the third quarter. Touchdown here would be huge. A field goal here, and Dennis feels like I'm still in it. Long pass, Allen Hurns. Defense gets us right. Double teams elsewhere. Dump off for 6 yards. Kirk going for the jugular. Gets a 6-yard dump off. Makes it 2nd down and 4. For Denver at the Seattle 36. Hightower in there again. That was Watkins on the reception. 2 carries, 2 receptions for 19 yards. 2nd and 4, Denver at the Seattle 36. Flat pass left to Tim Hightower. Defense gets us wrong. 9 yards on Dalton's card. The Red Rifle makes it 1st and 10, Denver at the Seattle 27. Kurt with a chance to really seize control of this game. If this drive ends in a touchdown, it would be 24-7. Short pass, Sammy Watkins. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Watkins covered by a 6. The dump off is good for 9 yards to Red Ellison. 2nd and 1 for the Broncos at the Seattle 18. And you see, I think it's a 7 and a bunch of 5s for Denver. I called the earlier game. 2nd and 1 Broncos at the Seattle 18. They lead 17-7 late third quarter. Tim Hightower, the running back. Off tackle right for Hightower. Offensive onside in, 5-0. That is a 1st down. 4 and a 4 makes the block. Dennis is getting, come on, give me a break here. Denver's at the ball at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10, 4:30 to go. And we're left for Hightower. Blocking back +5 or -1. Finally, Red Ellison, the 5, makes a block. And a 2nd and 5 for the Broncos at the Seattle 8. 3:50 to go in the third quarter. The 10 and 6 upstart Broncos leading 17-7. Full house backfield. Defense 3-4 blitz. Alfred Morris and Tim Hightower can run it. Morris's card is not that terrible. Guess right. And we're left to Alfred Morris. And runny's not that good. Guess right. 7 is a 1-yard loss, creating a 3rd and 6 for the Broncos at the Seattle 9. Huge play in this game. Dennis wants to win this game. He better stop this play. No touchdown here. Walking back 1 halfback, nickel 3-3-5 blitz. We've seen Kurt run it and be conservative and settle for field goals earlier. Dennis has the good secondary, has the good pass defense card with a better interception. Dalton can throw some picks, guess right. What does Kurt decide to do here? Play conservative or risk an interception? A touchdown would almost win the game for you, you feel like. But you don't want to get picked off and get nothing, and you only have 10. Will's got a decent card. The blocking is there. Maybe you run it. Will Dennis Cole run? Dare he? And we're left Lamar Miller. There's a linebacker there. Miller's card is good, but the dreaded 5 is no gain for the Broncos. And it's 4th and 6. They'll try a field goal with Dan Carpenter. I think this is 2-11. As I said, he's on it was on my SOMSFA team. The kick is up and good. 20-7 Denver. Very late in the third quarter. 2:24 to go. Now Dennis needs to do a game reset. The kick is to the 2-yard line. Again, 7-10 yards out to the 12. So you're putting him in a difficult field position spot here. But Dennis is all right. I'm going to put it into a new game, and all I got to do is win 14-0. Drive and get a score. A score and a stop. That's what he needs. Left tackle left to Chris Ivory. Nose tackle 4 and 9. It's a 9-yard game for Ivory, one of his longest games of the day. And then I said, well, I guess I'll take it the way things have been going. Can't seem to get more than 5 yards out of Ivory gets wrong. After Ivory had a tremendous season for Dennis. And for most people with this card online this year. 2nd and 1. Looking past Benjamin Watson. Receiver gets right. Negative yardage. Incomplete on the looking. I think there was a linebacker there. The ball was hiked quickly. 3rd and 1 for Seattle at their own 21. 1:12 to go. Man, Dennis needs this. He might think about going for it if he doesn't get it. Linebacker Russell Wilson gets wrong, gets 1 yard. Dennis says, geez, I'll take it. Give me the yard in the first down. My goodness. What's going on out here? Last minute of the third quarter. Dennis trailing 20-7, trying to make the Super Bowl for the 4th straight time. The Broncos doing a tremendous job here. Outstanding play calling, especially defense. Off tackle left to Chris Ivory. Guess wrong. Guess what? 5 yards. Which is a fine result normally, but when you have as many wrong runs as Dennis has got with Ivory, can I get a short gain? Can I get a +24? Can I get one of these good numbers? He just seems stuck on getting 5 yards to get 2 yards once, 3 yards once. Looking past it, Darren Fells, one linebacker there, gets right, 3-yard gain, 3rd and 2. So Dennis is like slowly working his way up, and he's still at his own 30 because of the great kick coverage by the Broncos. And Kurt's doing a good job making him earn it, and it's taking up clock. Off tackle left to Ivory. Defense gets his run. Offensive onside guard 7 or 2. The veteran Jari Evans 4 and 4 paves the way for a 7-yard gain. Would have been a first down anyway, but Dennis needs the real estate. Ivory's carried the ball 18 times for 73 yards. Only has 6 unfatigued carries. It's almost all been guessed wrong, by the way. 20-7 Denver. 13:48 to go in the game. Linebacker Chris Ivory gets run. One linebacker in zone. -1 or +3 is a 3-yard gain. Denzel Perriman's a 5, but the white die 6 beats him. 2nd and 7 for Seattle at their own 40. Short pass, Benjamin Watson, 3-man in zone. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Incomplete on Russell's card. We've seen maybe one must run out of Russell. You know, Dennis threw a couple of bombs, but Kurt's been sharp with the double teams of Brian. Seemingly every bomb to Brian's been double teamed. There's only been about 3 of them. We've seen some flat passing, but you know, Russell's had a tough time getting going here in the second half. He had a pretty good first half besides the 1 pick. 3rd and 7 for Seattle, their own 40. Short pass, Benjamin Watson. Defense double teaming elsewhere. Picked off 2 to 6 and 12. Incomplete. Dennis will probably have to punt it here. 4th and 7 from his own 40. 12:36 to go. He's got to punt it down 20-7. 16. No, he scored over 500 points. The kick is blocked. It's blocked by Denver inside the Seattle 30, and they're going to try to recover. The Seattle recovers it, but does not advance for the first down. Zach Zenner, the Swiss Army knife, and this could be the nail in the coffin for the undefeated Seattle Seahawks. Denver up 20-7. Look, Dennis did a great job with this team. This is not a 16-0 team on paper. Off tackle, Jordan Lamar Miller gets wrong. Dreaded 5, no gain. 2nd and 10, Denver at the Seattle 31. Now, a field goal is huge here. Carpenter's 2 to 9 and 12 out here. You want to make sure you get at least a few yards. You hate to settle for those 2 to 9 and 12s because you can miss them. Hightower's back in the game. 11:42 to go. Now, if he scores a field goal here, Dennis is still in it with 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions, but no margin for error. Looking past to Red Ellison, defender X -1 or +3 is incomplete. The animation making it look like that pass was much further down the field. So Denver has not even gained a yard here as they try to. That goes 3 wide, 1 halfback, taking away the possibility of the run as greatly. I would have liked to stay in a running formation and maybe run or throw a flat pass. You want to get a couple yards so you don't get dinged on the variable and lose a game on 2 touchdowns when you're trying to make the Super Bowl. I think this is a time for conservatism. Flat pass right to Sammy Watkins. Linebackers at 5. Guess wrong. If Dennis gets run with the offense in a 3-wide formation, it's 10 yards at the first down. If there's no turnover, Dennis is going to need a miraculous comeback to win this game or to tie it. Would have been 7 yards on a guess right. He has to hold it to a field goal. And this Denver offense has done a very good job in the second half. Short pass, Julius Thomas. Guess right, +11 on Dalton's card. The red rifle. 14 of 22, 164. No touchdowns, no interceptions. 1st and goal at the 10 for the Broncos. We're 20-7. 10-12 to go. This could be the end of this tremendous run for this Seattle Seahawks club in SOMSFA. Off tackle right, +8 or +3. 3-yard gain for Lamar Miller. Bobby Massey couldn't make the block. He's a 5, white die 6. 2nd and goal from the 7, 9:36 to go. Dollars to donuts. Kirk goes conservative here based upon the way he's coached this game. Dennis regretting that run call. Short pass to Red Ellison. Defense guesses wrong. Touchdown. Broncos 26-7. He might go for 2 here to make it 28-7, but you also keep Dennis open with 2 2-point conversion touchdowns and a field goal. So maybe the extra point the way to go. Well, Carpenter's bad at extra points. 2 to 10, I think. 2 to 9 and 12. But he hits it. 27-7 Broncos. Dennis needs 3 touchdowns or it's all over. 9:18 to go. The kick goes deep into the end zone. Touchback. Dennis had bad breaks. Picked off guess wrong in the red zone in the first drive of the game. And a punt return for 82 yards. But Kurt's also called a very good game, especially on defense. Got to tip your hat to Kurt here. And Dennis again. Off tackle, Jordan Chris Ivory. Nose tackle, 0 +3 gains 3. Chris Ivory looking like the GOAT on offense. 20 carries, 79 yards doesn't look too bad, but it's almost all been guessed wrong. Nothing more than like 7 yards, except for like a 9-yard run on the defense. Off tackle draw to Ivory. That's hoping for 2, 11, or 12. At least give me a short gain. Nose tackle 0 plus 3, no gain. Can't get anything going with Ivory. 8:06 to go. Unbelievable. What an upset. One of the greatest upsets in SOMSFA League history here. The Denver Broncos, 10-6. Nice job just getting to this game. Decent team, but, come on. Dennis 16-0. One of the best coaches easily around. 3 straight Super Bowl appearances. Back-to-back 16-0 seasons. 2 Super Bowl championships. Not a tremendous team on paper. Short pass, Darren Fells. Dennis did a tremendous job of this game. And finally, there's a must run for Russell, 14 yards up to the 37. Dennis did a tremendous job. This team should not have been 16-0. Dennis and I have talked about it, maybe 12-4. And then they finally run up against a bad situation in the playoffs. Kurt did a tremendous job, and Kurt's going to be in the Super Bowl, barring the tremendous miracle. Chris Ivory gains 9 yards. Thanks, Chris. It's going to be the Broncos 10-6 with a massive upset here, and they'd have to work it out for them against either NFL, San Francisco 49ers, or Joe Golden, New York Giants. Both excellent teams. The Giants, they're both teams I really like the Giants team a lot. Joe Golden is a very good coach. The SOMSFA family guys don't know him as well. I know him from Battle Royale. Joe's a very, very good coach. 3rd and 2 for Seattle at their own 45. I would want to have to play Joe in a playoff game. That's what I think of his coaching. 3rd and 2 for the Seahawks from their own 45. 6:18 to go. Off tackle left, Chris Ivory. No one there. It's 20. And there he hits it. Snake eyes. Plus 58. Is it better late than never? Maybe. Touchdown Seahawks. 27-13. So now you're going to have Seattle kick the extra point here with Justin Tucker to make it 27-14. And they're alive. They have new. I was just reading the eulogy, but they're alive. Will he go for the onside kick? Will he kick it deep, play defense? I think probably the onside kick. No, kicks it deep. It'll be downed. Now you got 6 minutes to go. You're up 27-14. Just run it 3 times and punt it. That might be your best chance at winning. I should have learned that lesson in SOMSFA. When I threw an ill-timed pass that cost me my playoff game. Off tackle left to Lamar Miller. Gained 7 yards behind Ramon Foster's block. 2nd and 3. And we saw that Miller has a very low look. Dalton has a snap fumble number of 1. Miller's fumble number is 3. So they got the absolute minimum with these guys. Linebacker Andy Dalton, 2-yard gain, 3rd and 1 rather. For Denver, they're on 29, 4:48 to go. Dennis needs to stop and some kind of miracle, which can happen. I've seen it happen. That's what happened to Dennis in the playoffs with Jay Villing a couple years ago. He was up by 10 with the ball, 4 minutes left, and he fumbled like twice in a row, and that was it. He lost. Flat pass guessed wrong, 8 yards in the first down, 4:12 to go. Now you feel like if there's no turnover, the Broncos are punching their ticket to the Super Bowl. Kurt Retzlaff, who I think is an early SSFA champion. Didn't have the personnel in a lot of these leagues. He's in the spring leagues with SOMSFA for the last couple of years. Looks like a right. Lamar Miller gains 1. So a lot of guys might not know him, but he's a very fine coach. And he did a very nice job here. We got some good breaks in the first half, but make no mistake, he coached a very good game, especially on defense. Especially defense. And even the offense did a nice job here in the second half. Look, that last touchdown, I was thinking he's going to run it. Dennis was thinking he's going to run it. He threw it to Ellison, touchdown. 3:36 to go. Off tackle left to Hightower. Pops a short gain. Just adding insult to injury for Dennis. I can't pop a short gain with Ivory all game. And then Tim Hightower, his 6th carry, short. I guess wrong. That's a short gain. 1st and 10 for the Broncos at their own. They're at the Seattle 49. If there's no turnover, this game is pretty much over. Hightower's fumble number is only 3. 6 guessed right. He gains 3 on the right call. 2:24 to go. Can't believe it. Dennis had bad luck in this game, but this was not really just ultimate dice loss, because Kurt just did a great job defensively. Yeah, you would have had a close game without the punt return touchdown and without the first Russell Wilson interception into, I guess, wrong that was into 4 men. There's a first down as we approach the 2-minute warning. But Kurt did an excellent job. The Chris Ivory running the ball gets wrong is what was rough for Dennis. So you got to feel for Dennis, and he just goes to show you, you never know what's going to happen in these games. You think you have an idea and you expect certain things, but also on paper, the Dennis' team was just not a 16-0 looking club, but they were so dominant statistically, and you know what kind of coach Dennis is. He said, well, I guess he's going to get it done. Certainly get to the Super Bowl, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. 1:45 to go. He's got 1 timeout left. He's down 27-14. 3rd and 11 for Denver. I'm sure they're just going to run it again. Or maybe punt out of bounds or something like that. Maybe he'll throw a flat pass, but I wouldn't. Maybe, who knows? I do some stupid things, so maybe I would. Has a linebacker to Hightower, loses a yard, 4th and 12. They'll probably do an out-of-bounds punt here. That block punt killed Dennis, too. I forgot about that. So Dennis definitely had his share of bad luck here. But the way the game was, even without those plays, it felt like it was going to be it would have been a nip and tuck game. It was there was no dominance really from either team. Kurt thinking about whether I want to try a long field goal or punt it. Probably punt it, Kurt. One of the only times I would advise punting it from here. He's going to try the long field goal. Is it 2-7 or is it 2-6 or something? I don't know what it is, but it's no good. You just gave Dennis a little bit of life here. I don't like that call. I think it's only 2-6, 11, 12. It might be 2-7, but you kind of gave Dennis a chance here. 90 seconds left, no timeouts. I'd rather see him at his 20. That is on 44. He's going pistol. He's going to try and pop another snake eyes or Chris Ivory, but that's going to run clock. There's only 90 seconds left. There's no timeouts. And we're right to Wilson. Short gain, 15 yards. And now he's at the 41. Wilson did not get out of bounds, it looks like. Hurry up, they'll get you to 107. So that's probably what we'll see. Now he spikes it. Saves as much time as he can. He's a touchdown, onside kick, touchdown. I don't know why Kurt didn't punt on that last play. I don't like that at all. Give him 24 yards of real estate when he needs 2 touchdowns. And he has no timeouts. A bomb here, like you'd expect a completed bomb to be a touchdown. He doesn't even necessarily have to do a bomb. He could maybe try a flat pass at a 5 or something, and get a couple completions. Flat pass right there, and Wells is a 5 there. Defender -1 or +4 is a loss of 1. Patrick Young makes the play. At least Fells got out of bounds. 3rd and 11 for the 42. Defense goes dive 3-2-6. Now you'll see probably a short pass from Dennis. Flat pass remains a possibility, but Kurt's leaving these linebackers home, making Dennis earn it down the field against the dime, it looks like. But Kurt's mixed it up, looking past to Benjamin Watson. That's guess wrong. It's going to take a lot of time. It does not get the first down, only 7 yards. And Dennis cannot snap it, so he's got to go hurry up here. Gets to 45 seconds. But he created a makeable 4th down. Not the formation he probably wants, but beggars can't be choosers. Now, does he dare do it again? That'll be rough. 4th and 4. Does Kurt maybe move a guy up for it? I'd like to see, I guess, maybe a short pass here is probably the way to go. Looking past the Fells, Kurt moves the guy up. He's a 0. Picked up 2 to 4. Only 1 yard gain. That's the game. Dennis turned it over and down to the Denver 34. The Denver Broncos, 10-6. Nice job just to get here with greatest upset in SOMSFA family league history that I'm aware of. And I go back to nearly the beginning of all these leagues, although the early years I wasn't always following the SOMSFA playoffs because I was never involved in them outside of my first season. Oh, my goodness. You got to feel badly for Dennis. I feel good for Kurt. Great job by Kurt. But we all know Dennis a lot better than like Kurt. Kurt's a little quieter. league member. Wow. 27-14. Now, this was not a super team. I know the stats say super team. I'm just telling you. And what do you have? 1-6 on defense? You know, is that what he had? I think on the Seattle club. You know, with the regular season for this team. Was just ludicrous. 548 points scored. 230 points allowed. I mean, he gave 27 points this game. He only gave up more than that once in the regular season. He had 28 points to Chicago. And as Dennis and I discussed, Dennis said I thought he was lucky to go. I thought I was lucky to go undefeated this time. And I agree. I agree with him. We discussed it. You know, I mean, look at the team. I mean, Wilson and Ivory are good, but, you know, they're not great. It's not like when I had Peyton Manning and Marshawn Lynch and still lost Super Bowl. Probably could have coached better in that game. You know, Brandon Marshall's real good. Tennis Bryant's pretty good. Wall of sevens, 5-7s. The run blocking is good enough, but not great. But the defense, it's finding 48 points of that offense is saying something. And the defense, 4-4-5 in the defensive line, 5-0-4-4 at linebacker. He only has 1-6, and it's at right corner. I keep the lead, which is a good place to have one. He only has 1-6 on the defense. He's got 5-4 starting. Doesn't have great pass rush. I mean, that's a team that gives up 230 points, by far the best mark in the league. I mean, that shows you, as if you didn't know already, what kind of coach Dennis is. But it's not a team that could just show up and automatically beat another good team. It's just not a great team on paper, but even so, you go 16-0, you're playing a 10-6 team in the semifinal. You're trying to make your fourth straight Super Bowl. You kind of think you're going to win the game. But look, Kurt did a tremendous job with his defensive coaching this game. And, of course, he had some breaks. Russell Wilson threw an interception. But look, when you throw a short pass, we talked about this in one of the earlier playoff games. You throw a short pass, gets wrong with 4 men, that can happen.
Yo, what's up?
Mr. Crowley. my heart bleeds for you, brother.
Yeah, like I said before, it was very lucky for me to go undefeated with this squad. Last year I had like 1-4 on my team on defense. This year I had 4 starting for me, or zeros. So I didn't have any illusions. I knew this was pretty much like 2 10-6 teams playing in the playoffs. I knew it was going to be close, but you know, the block punt, the kick return, touchdown, those hurt, and punt return, touchdown, and then the interception. You know, the territory.
Yeah, You know, I said many times. I should probably elevate my head. You only see the top half of my head, but I said, in the second half, as the game was unfolding and the upset was looking more likely, and I said many times near the end of the game and in the post game, just exactly what you just said. You and I have spoken about your team. I said this is not a super team. This is not a team. Like even my team didn't go undefeated with Peyton Manning and Marshawn Lynch. This is not a team with you know, the tremendous defensive personnel where you only have 1-6 on defense and you're starting 5-4s. And you don't even have great pass rush. And your offense, yeah, Wilson's good, and yeah, Ivory's good, and Brandon Marshall's good, and you have a wall of sevens. But it's not again. It's not like you had. Who's the best running back this year?
Spencer Ware, or you know, I didn't have one of those.
Well, yeah, it's like a Tom Brady and like a, you know, a vintage Adrian Peterson card or something. You know, right. with like a TJ defense. You know, it's not like you had like that was more the type of team that you and I both had last year. You know,
exactly.
More of a real strong team on paper. You know, so and you and I thought this was a team that 12-4. You would have said, oh yeah, that's a solid record for this team. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I felt my SSFA team was much better than this team, and yet this team went undefeated. It was just one of those things where, like I said, when I played the strong teams, I got really lucky, And this was, even Kurt, he doesn't have a super team either.
No, but not that inferior to you, really.
No, it was pretty close, especially
personnel-wise.
His defense has got more fives than I do, and
you probably the running back. You probably had advantage with Ivory, but Dalton got a pretty good card. But I mean, just look at the matchup. If you threw the coaches out, you rolled out these two teams. You say, oh, you can have a close game here, and also, like you said, like you tell me that Kurt was a good coach. You got to tip your hat to Kurt because he got the big breaks of short pass wrong, 4-man interception on the first drive. Although we both know anytime you throw a short pass 4-man, there's always a chance of that pick coming up, right? But still, guess wrong, interception. Then he gets the Snake Eyes punt return, 82-yard touchdown, and then gets the block put in the second half. So like all those things went his way, and all those things were big breaks, no doubt about it. But I think even if you removed all those breaks, you would have ended up with like a very close game with like 5 minutes to go, and someone's got to win it at the end because Kurt coached a very good defensive game, I thought. From like the middle of the second quarter on, I mean, I think he double-teamed successfully every bomb you threw to Bryant. I think he threw like 3 times, and he double-teamed each of them right, including getting a pick-off. That was a big pick-off because you returned it into your territory, even though you would have had to punt anyway. But, that ended up being like an 18-yard net on the interception plus return, which the punt would have been better than that.
Right.
And in the second half, I thought he did a good job getting his offense going with the flat passing. And one big reason you lost, you could not hit anything with Chris Ivory. All you got every single time was +5, +5, +5. Chris Ivory gets wrong until it was practically too late. So his stats look good, but believe me, he did not have the impact that those stats show. It's like, can I get a short gain?
Yeah,
where am I going to get that +24? Because he was guessing pass. I mean, now he gets him run first quarter plus, but from the middle of the second quarter on, Ivory was running guess wrong a lot. And 5 yards is a fine gain, but you expect with that card and the season he had for not only you, but everyone else, Dan Moore, agree with him and SOMSFA, you expect some short gains to get sprinkled in there. Can I get, maybe an 8 on the defense for 11 yards or whatever? Can I get a +24 or +31? You expect to get something.
Yeah.
And all you ever got was 5 yards, and then you had got like a nose tackle for +9 once, and maybe a couple of +7s, but you couldn't get a short gain.
Yeah, and I did have a couple times where I was throwing, and the result was on snake eyes. So if I would have, or boxcars, if I would have been running those times, he would have had a massive day. And that could have changed the game around too. But it just so happens that on those plays where those rolls came up, I was throwing. So, I can't complain about Chris Ivory. He was great.
Yes, you can.
And the only reason I went undefeated.
Sucks.
It was a great season. I mean, I have nothing.
Yeah, it was a great season.
I have nothing to be disappointed with. This team, I thought I could do a decent job with it, get it to the playoffs, and win a couple games in the playoffs. And I just about did that. And I really think I would have been hard pressed to take out Joe or Ed in the Super Bowl. But again,
that's true.
If you get there, you just need to get lucky one more game. So I thought I had a chance in this game. I thought maybe it was a 50-50 game, maybe a slight advantage to me because of the D card and my offense. But the key, I think, was when I was moving the ball pretty easily in the first half, I didn't get any points for that. I had the interception, another drive where it stalled out, but I was moving the ball up and down the field. I just didn't have much to show.
Yes, it's bad, especially in the first half. And I didn't have much to show for it, but you're losing because he had an 82-yard punt return. I mean, the first quarter and a half of the game, you had 2, I think, really good drives, and he only had 1 drive that he said where he settled for a field goal, yet you were losing 10-7.
This is not one of those games where I'm going to be like up all night because I can't stop thinking about bad decisions I made. I mean, I thought I coached a decent game. I thought he coached a
absolutely. Yes.
It's just that's the way it's going to go with these cards in the set.
You do. I can't think of any mistakes you made. The only one, probably the only play call you might have regretted was when he went 3 wide in field goal range from the 31, and you called on 3rd and 10. You called run and he threw the flat pass. So I know you're thinking he wants a few more yards to make sure he doesn't get the negative field goal impact.
Right.
But from the 3 wide, you maybe if you're good now, it probably would have made a difference in the long run, certainly, because you ended up being down 27-7 instead of whatever 23-7, but it was already fourth quarter. But that's the only play call the entire game where you might have said, maybe I shouldn't have called that play. Everything else was fine. You coach a good game, and he coached a good game. And a good game doesn't mean that 100% of the calls are perfect. If you have one shaky call, it's not the end of the world, and that's even, like you said, understandable. And Kurt was playing, I thought, pretty conservatively and playing for field goals and things like that.
Right, he wasn't throwing a lot of short passes. If he had been throwing more short passes, then I could have used my blitz a little more. But because he was focusing on running in the flats, it didn't make sense for me to show blitz. So I didn't blitz.
And you had some bad luck where we popped a couple of bombs on you in the first half. Right. He was like 2 for 3 on bombs. The receiver to Julius Thomas, who only has 6 units on it. And the other one was, what was the other one he got? It was complete. Oh, defensive back in zone on the 3rd and long. He threw it at the safety 4 and hit that one. So those obviously helped. I was very impressed with the game Kurt coached. I think, like I said, you both coached a very, very good game, and Kurt got the breaks.
Yeah,
but,
and like Kurt said,
his coaching was solid. So 2 teams. Not evenly matched in the standings, but fairly evenly matched in personnel, and both well coached. And then it comes, and then if one guy gets the breaks, he's going to win.
And you remember our regular season game? That was the game that I won 24-23, where he went for 2 on the last play of the game to try to win instead of just kicking the field goal and going to overtime. So I
had not realized. I remember you not mentioning that to me. And I'll bring that up on my screen and share that. But I had not realized, I had forgotten, I suppose, that that had been the case. 24-23, 21-11 at halftime. And you outgained him significantly in that game. He had a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Ivy struggled in that game, 15-49. And then in this game, he had 82 punt return for a touchdown. And you said he went for 2 at the end to try to win the game, which is interesting.
Yeah, that was a good game.
But I'm sure it was. And if we look now at the box score here for today's game, we see that you outgained him 338-303. But you were -2 in turnovers, including 1 in the red zone. Look, you're -2 in turnovers.
Well, -3 because you got to count the block punt as a turnover.
Well, I was about to say the block punt. It's not a turnover. You're about to punt it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a huge play. It certainly feels as impactful as a turnover. That's for sure. Yeah. But you're -2 in turnovers and had the block punt. That's, and if the orders are similar, that's going to be too much to overcome.
Yeah,
Ivory hit that stupid run a lot earlier. Might have been helpful.
And there was rolls there. If I would have been running that, it could have happened. So
and Russell outside the interception, Russell was good in the first half, but Russell struggled in the second half.
Didn't get those dump offs that he was getting in the first half. So
I think at one point he was like 15 for 23. So he ended up like 19 for 33 of 161. So did not have the game that usually he gives you. And Kurt coached an excellent defensive game. I really thought so.
Yeah, and this like Kurt said, this is his 2nd time in the Super Bowl in the last 3 years. So I beat him 2 years ago.
In SOMSFA?
In SOMSFA, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Hold on.
All right.
So this is the SOMSFA standings from
and that was a close game.
Yeah, and then the box score, I have it open here. There it is, 23-18. He had a late comeback to make it a little closer because it was 23-7 in the 4th. But
89 net yards passing for the Broncos, 146 for you.
Yep.
Not exactly lighting it up and down the field, you guys. It was Dalton versus Wilson again. So basically, what you're telling me is Kurt loses a close Super Bowl to you 2 years ago, loses by 1 point in the 4th quarter of the regular season this year when you're going for undefeated, and then beats you in the playoffs. So I found this. So certain coaches just always give another coach a hard time. And Kurt is a good coach, and so maybe Kurt is one of those guys who gives you a hard time.
Well, he just always coaches a good game, and I think that the strength of his team, the flats, it was tougher for me to stop with my forward linebackers, whereas other guys, when they have a good, strong, short pass card, I can use. You say I don't have a good pass rush. I actually do have a pretty good pass rush. When
you do. Just not sexy in terms of the
right.
You don't see the 12s and the asterisks as soon as you bring up the team on
right,
the thing.
You have a 9 pass rush linebacker in Holly, an 11 pass rush linebacker in Ware, and then Eddie Goldman for me this year had like double-digit sacks because he would always get boosted up from his normal 5 pass rush.
Yeah, you have a 9-5-7, then you got 9-11s on the outside.
Right.
You have to blitz to make it work.
Right.
But usually when I think of a good pass rush, I'm used to seeing probably a couple of 10-plus guys.
Right.
With at least one guy being like a 12 with an asterisk. That's just like you're used to seeing. So this is kind of a sneaky good pass rush and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I said before you came on in the post game, I mean, look, this defense 4-4-5, 5-0-4-4, 5-5-6-4. That's not a great defense, and you give up only 230 points. So that is an amazing job. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It was fun. It was a good season. I knew I had a feeling it would come through at some point in the playoffs. I was hoping it would be next week, but
I said that. I mean, you did a tremendous job to go 16-0 with this team. They were more like a 12-4 type of team,
Yep.
And amazing, So yeah, and like you said the other day, hey, if I would have signed up for STFA SOMSFA Final Four with these two clubs before the season started, and you're there. So we'll see what happens. Who are you playing in SSFA again?
It's either going to be Ed or Jay.
Ed or Jay. Wow.
Ed or Jay. So that should be another tough one.
Yeah. No disrespect to anybody else, but the last few years, these SSFA Final Fours have been like really good teams with really good coaches every single game. I mean, it's. I was in there when my team was good. Jay, of course, has been there every year. He's trying to win his 3rd straight. Ed's been in the mix. Paul, I think it might have been in there once or something like that.
Yep.
Nathan, if Nathan wins, would be in there. He's probably been around. I mean, it's been tremendous. And this other SOMSFA semifinal has that feel to me.
Oh, that's going to be
because people who don't play in Battle Royale don't know what kind of coach Joe Golden is. Joe Golden's an excellent coach.
He's been rebuilding with his SOMSFA team, so people are probably used to rolling over old Jersey Joe
and SSFA too a little bit. I think he went 8-8 or 10-6 this year. He might have this might have only been his first year in SOMSFA. So I think this is only like his 2nd or 3rd year with SSFA or SOMSFA. But those two teams are both really good and have really good coaches.
Yeah.
So that has that feel. So I'll tell you one thing. I think Kurt's going to have his work cut out for him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I do too. I told him that. I says, he's going to really need to get the same kind of luck he had today in that game because.
I know Joe's team is real good. Is Ed's team also real good, or did he maybe overachieve a little bit?
Yeah, well, you factor in Ed's coaching, and it's right there with Joe's.
Yeah, let's just take a quick look at Ed's team here, Dennis, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think Ed's team is not as good as Joe's, but he went 13-3 with that squad. Look at that point differential, almost plus 200.
Yeah, you know what kind of coach Ed is, of course.
Exactly.
So let's see. You got Tyrod Taylor. Oh, I play this team. You got Tyrod Taylor, Frank Gore. The receivers. This offense is not that great.
Tyrod Taylor's better than
No, I know he is. I think he's top 5 in my ranking, but it's more low turnover than it is his own productivity. Although with Ed's pass blocking and the must runs, he becomes much better, and I like the flat passing on him. But Tyrod Taylor, Frank Gore, that's not that dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I still think it's decent.
Goes 5-6-4 on defense, 4-4-0-4, 5-4-5-4. I tell you, this team. He did a great job to get to 13-3. I mean, we always say it's a great coach, but you forget. Sometimes you look at a team and they say, "Wow, this team." He did a lot of credit for the job he did with that team. I mean, I think Joe.
Sure.
did not have the point differential that you guys have, but I think his personnel is better.
Well,
and he went 14-2.
Joe's got that Brandon Whedon card that he's using.
How can you possibly beat Brandon Whedon? But even Joe's running backs aren't that great. Christy Johnson, he's got Le'Veon Bell. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's there.
Just didn't show up there.
Right.
But I think his defense. Let me look at his defense real quick for you, run, Dennis. Goes 5.55, 6.455, 6.555. I like the defense a lot. I think it is probably.
But Ed has
the strongest.
Ed has that asterisk pass rusher in Carlos Dunlap, and he's got a 6 nose tackle, so he can make that defense do a lot of things. Joe has no pass rush on his D line, so he'll have some problems with dump offs and must runs from Taylor. Correctly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, so we'll see this. So that might be like a little bit of a low scoring game, maybe. Maybe the winner will only need 21 to 24 points.
Well, it was 17-14 in the regular season with the Giants beating the Niners.
Nice. So I'll look forward to that one. They haven't scheduled yet. So right now, we're going to tap, Dennis. Look, congratulations. You did a great season. Semifinal with that team is an appropriate. Like that's a mark for a good season with that team. Let's forget about the 16-0. You know, they should have gone probably 12-4 or whatever, or anything above that would have been a tremendous job. And, now we got. Well, let me ask this. So that's that SOMSFA team had made 3 straight Super Bowls, had won 2. We know what happened last year. You know what happened today. What does the future look like for that SOMSFA team? Is there going to be a temporary break in their dominance, or are they going to be right back next year fighting for the Final Four again? What do you think? From what you see on paper right now, or have you even looked at it?
I have. So here's my. Let me share my screen again. So here's the SOMSFA 2016 rating. So it'll have Russell Wilson. I'll need a halfback. Long term, I have Abdullah, but for this year, I'll need somebody. The defense looks well. The offensive line, I have 6'7", 5'7" tackles, a 5'2" center, and a 4'7" tackle that I can probably flip for a guard.
So there's a lot to work with there.
Yeah, and then on defense. The defensive line goes 6'5", 5'0", and then 4'5". So I have a 5 tackle that I could maybe flip for a 5 defensive end to go 6'5" up front. The linebackers will be a problem again. I do have Kevin Minter in the middle, 5'4", and then the outside, Tamba Hali's fallen off, and the other guys are not doing anything. But the secondary is okay. Akeed Dali keeps it 6, 2 5 safeties, and then the 4
safety 5s and a quarter 4. Okay.
Yeah. So
what's your draft pick situation, since we know you'd be trading to
So this league I have no number 2 and no number 3, but I do have
your number 1 though.
Have my own first rounder, and I have an extra 4th and 5th. So.
But but you have your number 1. So in terms of trading, you have some ammunition there to work with. That's with the 22nd pick in the draft. And you tell me you need. Really, it's just really like an outside linebacker and a running back. So you have, depending on what Russell's card looks like, that Russell card. This might be. I don't know. I don't know what his card's gonna look like.
Well, we already do know what his card looks like from the
SOM World.
Yeah, from the World thing. I don't know if I have that available.
I want to try to bring that up, Dennis.
Okay, let me grab it. Okay.
Of course, if you had, you would simply organize your folders.
I think I have it on my other computer. But
womp, 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 womp. I could try to bring it up, but mine is. I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Okay, here it is.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
So, Wilson has a nice.
Now, this is their projection.
Right.
But we have learned, after looking at it a little more closely, that their projections are pretty good. That maybe they're usually up by maybe like one number or something, maybe, right?
21-25 flats.
Okay, it's not bad.
12-18 on short pass. So a little weaker short pass right, especially if this run won't help you.
Yeah, that's going to be. I think that's going to be a much bigger problem than you realize. But go ahead.
Yeah, and then 7-13 on the deep card, which is his best deep card ever.
It is. So
So
it's an all right card, and his interception percentage was very, very low, I assume.
yes. So it'll be a good card. I think it'll be
Um,
about, instead of top 5, it'll be like maybe 7, 8 on Ed's rankings. Probably about the same in your rankings. So
I think it'll be worse than that.
okay,
Worse than 7 or 8. Worse than 7 or 8 because
who's must runs?
because the short pass wrong is not going to be that good for a guy that you would think of as a top flight quarterback. We see it seem like a lot of quarterbacks are going to be pretty decent long pass wrong, so he's not going to be significantly better than them. His flat pass isn't. Overall, it's not bad, but his flat pass is not better than like other guys who are going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like he's like going to be like equal to a lot of those guys, but the short pass and long pass right, he's going to take a hit because in the past, his 10 must run units or whatever, 2 to 6 might have been 10 yards or more. And you could count that as like almost half of them being completions.
Right.
And next year, maybe it's only maybe 2 to 4 is going to be 10 yards or more. And his 10 must run units may only count as like 2 completions. And I think it's really going to hurt him.
I think if I have a strong running back on whatever team I'm coaching Wilson on, it's a workable card. I mean, because it has the same.
No, it is workable, absolutely.
Yeah. So even if it's 10th or 12th, remember when Wilson
I would probably put it down. Well, let me look at it this way. Let me look at the file real quick and tell you how many guys I think will have a better card. Now, first of all, it doesn't matter that much if he's 12th or 10th. The card is certainly workable, but I do think that the short pass right is going to be much more of a problem. I think that you've gotten accustomed to, like anybody would, building some good pass blocking and knowing that a short pass right is almost like a bread and butter for you with his must run to the dump off,
Right,
and that bread and butter is going to fall off the table. That bread and butter is not going to be there the same way. It'll be more sporadic. You're not going to be more sporadic. Right. If you took all his must runs that you've had for 8 yards or more this year and replaced them all with must runs of 4 yards or more, that's going to be a major hit, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just for argument's sake, how many quarterbacks do I think will have a better card than Russell next year? Definitely. Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins. I guess Big Ben. I can look at his numbers more closely. Probably will because of the super low picks. Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to reserve judgment on this. Russell will be in there. 8 to 13.
Yeah,
that range. It'll certainly be good enough to win, but he won't be top 5, like you said. But certainly good enough to win with. Look, like we said, you get a quarterback middle of the pack in a 2014 league. That's more than good enough to win with, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think his card will look like a Joe Flacco card, on the short pass right, with bad must runs. That's what it'll look like. So
I'm going to give you. I'd like to give you better than that. These Joe Flacco short pass right cards have been very underwhelming. I don't know. But what's Russell got guess right? 12?
12, 18, yeah.
And then the must run, you still look. There's still going to be at least like a 2 to 4 of like 10 yards or more. So you're going to he's going to get pumped up more towards like a 14 at least. Which is not that far behind. The main guys look like they're 15, 16, 17. It's not 14's not a bad short pass right number. It's a good enough card to win with. That's for sure.
It's 12 short pass right. Oh, you're saying 14 with the must run.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he gets like 10 must run units, and I haven't looked at his number of carries and compared that. But if he gets like 10 must run units, you could almost count like 2 of them as completions because he's still going to have like 2 to 4 will probably still be 10 yards or more in the must run. Maybe 1.7. So maybe like a 13.7 short pass right. Yeah. It's just definitely going to be a little bit down from what you get normally. And I think there'll just be more spotting the drives.
I don't think there'll be any end run options with him either. That's like 6 carries a year that I've been getting with good end runs.
Yeah, you do a great job with those, better than most guys, I think. And also, you're not going to have the occasional plus 54 or plus 45 must run. That's gone.
That's long.
I think his longest run was like 19 yards or 23 yards.
Probably less than that, but it's not going to be good. That's for sure. So
yeah, because you would get those like twice a year.
Yeah, they come in handy. So
yeah, no, he's not. He's not gonna have a bad card. It's just a drop off. It's certainly good enough to win with, and stuff like that. I'm not knocking Russell. He was banged up and stuff like that. So
yeah, I will not be going 16-0 next year for the third straight time. So let's just put it that way.
Okay, 15-1.
I would take 10-6. Right now, I would take 10-6. So.
Oh no, you wouldn't.
I would.
You take 11-5. You would. If I said sign on the dotted line, you got to trade a bunch of. You got to trade a few key pieces.
Yep.
To get good running backs, an outside linebacker, and you're going to go 10-6. You'll sign. And SOMSFA, you'll sign.
Yeah. 10-6 is good. You just want to get in the playoffs and then have some fun.
If I was you, I wouldn't sign. SOMSFA coaching has improved a lot, but I still would feel like you got to give me 11-5 before I sign the contract. Otherwise, I'll take my chances. I'll trust my coaching, Dennis. You know what I'm saying? You trust your coaching.
Okay.
What you do.
Let's make it 10-5-1. How about that?
All right, negotiated deal. Okay. Now let's look at who you know. Now, I guess you're going to tie with Kurt since you play so many close games.
Exactly.
You could tie it, yeah, I don't know. So, all right.
Okay,
so,
man, I'm gonna get
all right,
going.
Dennis. All right, good. Great job in the season.
And thank you for calling
You're welcome. Tough breaks in the game, but like you said, Kurt coached good and your team overachieved. So, all right. Catch you later, Kurt. Dennis.
See ya.
Bye-bye. So there you have it, folks. Dennis Crowley, straight from the Seahawks' mouth. Still, I mean, look, yeah, we said, look, Dennis did a great job getting this team to 16-0. They were not a 16-0 type of team, in my view, by any stretch of the imagination. Kurt's team, the matchup actually looked pretty even coming in to me. You just assume Dennis, he does so well, 16-0. But Kurt matches up well with him, and Kurt's a good coach. Let's not forget he made the SOMSFA Super Bowl 2 years ago, which I didn't realize. And he only lost by 1 to Dennis in the regular season. So the matchup was there. Both guys coached well. Kurt coached a great game on defense, and he got some big breaks, and that's how he won. I think even without the big breaks, it would have been just like a close, like back and forth game. The last 5 minutes, who's going to win? So congratulations to Kurt Retzlaff, his second Super Bowl in 3 years. He's going to take on the winner of the game between NFL Ed, San Francisco 49ers, who are 13-3, and Jersey Joe Golden, New York Giants, who are 14-2. And those teams aren't invincible either. So Kurt's got a chance to, from 10-6, maybe win the title. He's there. And I think he has an early SSFA title. I'll try to look into that when I get a chance. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. This is Tom signing off. Bye-bye.